Welcome to episode 65 of A Message From. We're your hosts. I'm Alyson.
I'm Edward.
And I've got so many updates today.
You have a lot of updates.
So many updates.
Okay, well, where do you want to start with first?
Who knew?
The world is your oyster for 15 minutes.
I love that. I saw a lot of oysters yesterday.
What a weird segue.
It just hit me. Okay, so yesterday we had this we planned like this outing for work, like our like a nice team building event. So we went on this lunch boat cruise. It was incredible.
I feel like you told me about this, but I'm not sure if I remember correctly or not.
Oh, so we went on the Spirit of Baltimore 2.
Oh, what happened to number 1?
Number 1 is real old. I found out yesterday that a friend of mine had their high school prom on the Spirit of Baltimore.
Oh my god!
And that was like many, many, many years ago. So
she's out of commission.
I think she's out of commission. But
okay.
So her namesake leaves out of DC. You cruise the Potomac.
It leaves out of DC, the Spirit of Baltimore.
Yeah,
Interesting.
She moved, okay? She wasn't feeling Baltimore.
Yeah. Does this mean Baltimore has no spirit?
Apparently.
Oh.
Baltimore is dead.
Any of our Baltimore listeners, we're so sorry.
Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't really feel like that about Baltimore. I went to a really good Afghani restaurant in Baltimore once. But I digress. Digress, as usual. So lovely lunch. The food. I was super excited because you know me and my eating things, and I'm like, I don't eat meat, and I'm not eating dairy, and all this jazz. The menu was impeccable. There were 2 different kinds of salad. One of them had quinoa in it. You know I freaking love quinoa on a salad.
Is that not like common in the U.S.?
I think it's only common when you go to those like woo-woo, here's a salad bowl restaurant, pay $30 for a salad and a bowl. Like
an Honest Greens type shit. Yeah.
And popular in my kitchen as well. But
Of course, yes.
There were mashed potatoes. The selection of rolls was so good. So many different types of rolls, like beautiful rolls with like seeds and nuts. I loved it.
I do love a nice roll selection.
Right?
Yeah.
There was also two different kinds of pasta or one. I don't know, a couple different kinds of pasta. There was a meat. I think it was a chicken. I don't know. I didn't eat that. But so I took the metro, right? Because it's like I didn't want to drive into DC and deal with parking and all that jazz. And,
of course.
So I get on the metro, right? And I'm like, get my book out. I'm ready to like settle and read because it's a bit of a long trip for me.
Where did you have to go to?
I went to Waterfront. We went to like the wharf area. So I took Red Line to Gallery Place and then hopped on the Green Line I was only on the Green Line for like 3 stops.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad, but getting from like where I live into center of DC, it's like 35 minutes, 40 minutes. Yeah.
Minty stops.
Yeah, minty stops. So, I hop on and I'm like, yeah, whatever, getting settled in. There's this dad and his kid in front of me, super annoying. But I hear this guy next to me talking, and I look over and I'm like, gosh, he looks like a guy I work with. And I like look back to my book and then I look again and I swear we made eye contact. Like I was looking into his eyeballs. And I look at his shirt and I'm like, I work with him. He's on my team. Like, and the girl sitting next to him, like, she's on my team too. But she didn't see me. She was turned staring at him. But he obviously didn't see me because he definitely would have said hi if he actually made eye contact with me. But I was like, and I was like, I just want to read my book. So I didn't say anything.
Oh, I was wondering where this was going.
Yeah.
This is really awkward.
Yeah. So they're there. They're deep in conversation about like orcs and
what? Oh God!
It sounded like they were talking about a play or something, but I think it was like video games. I think it was a video game conversation. And I was like trying to listen, but also not trying to listen. And it was a lot of deep questions about, I think it was like gamer world that I obviously don't understand. So I was like,
was it about Lord of the Rings?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
You said orcs. Like, I was like, maybe. And you've seen them because we watched them together. But
I know. And I feel like maybe that's why that was the word I was picking up on. But I was like, I'm just going to keep reading my book. And then there's this dad in front of me, like, asking this kid weird metro questions. I'm like, the kid wouldn't be freaking scared to go in a tunnel if you didn't say, ooh, are you going to be scared when we go underground? I'm like, the kid was fine 2 seconds ago. And now you're like prodding him like, ooh, are you going to be scared? I'll protect you. And I'm like, just let your kid live. Come on, man.
So you didn't end up talking to these coworkers at all on the train?
No.
And you were literally like just an aisle away from each other?
Right across.
That is so awkward. It makes sense though, because I mean, I'm assuming that a lot of people you work with.
They were one row behind me and then across, but it was literally like we could reach out and touch each other probably. Are you surprised that you saw somebody from work on the train though? You guys are all going to the same event, right? Or are they not going to the event? So now that I think about it, I'm not, but every time people find out where they live, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so far. And I always forget there's this one guy who lives even further than me. Like most people kind of live on the other side because of where our work is. I don't know. People are just like over on the other side of Maryland mostly. Yeah. So I always forget. I'm always just like, I'm the only one coming from this direction.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, did you say anything to them when you arrived, or did you just like fully not acknowledge it at all?
Well, I knew that they were going to be moving slowly once we arrived, and I'm like, I can't be walking slow. So I just kind of like zoomed out, did my thing. And then I ended up bumping into someone else like walking to the boat, and her and I chatted and walked together. But she hadn't been on the metro because she drove and ended up parking in like a parking lot right next to the metro station. So.
Oh boy, what an update from you.
Yes.
Nothing like an awkward metro ride.
I know. I also saw a rat the first time I saw a rat in the metro. You would think that it would have happened by now, but
yeah, I feel like I saw a rat when I was there like in November or in January.
I think you did, but I have never seen one until now.
Wow. You're lucky. You held out for a long time.
Many years, like 5 years.
Yeah.
Saw my first rat.
Oh my God, there's so many rats in the United States. Just like thinking about it, like gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm pretty sure I saw so many rats in Barcelona too. It was really gross.
Ew.
There are no rats here though, because I don't know why.
I used to see them sometimes in Nice by the train station, you know, where the blue lights are.
Yeah.
But only at night. Night.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah. I'm going to give you an opportunity to share because, like, is there anything you need to get out there? Because I have, like, 5 other things I could talk about. But
I do have one thing.
Like, great.
And it has to deal with karma.
Okay.
That you'll enjoy this because it's karma done unto me because I was rude. Not rude, but snarky to you.
What happened?
You know how you texted me being like, what did you say exactly? Something about how you were on your phone and you almost ran into a really angry goose. And you were like, it almost would have attacked me, but I like walked away from it, like around it. It would have killed
me.
Yeah, and I was like, that would have been really funny to share on the podcast. And you were like, I was thinking about that. And I said, no, I meant like if it had attacked you, like this story, not necessarily, but like if you had been attacked. And you obviously commented very rude. And then we sent each other many funny WhatsApp stickers. And I was on a run, not yesterday, 2 days ago in the new park. And I was like running at a time where like everyone was off of work. Essentially. So the park was like very full of dogs, very full of running groups and like runners and stuff. And the park is not necessarily very big. Yeah. So And the run that I was doing was an interval workout, so I kind of just needed to like run back and forth. A run that I would have done in my old park in a long distance, just because you can do that. But here I was like, I'm not trying to run around statues, like small groups of families, benches and things like that. So I'll stick on this one part that is right next to the large circular highway in Madrid. It's great. Nice 12-lane highway to breathe in while you run.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Health. And this like this like dirt path of the park is like where the dogs come into the dog park, and it's like definitely where the cars of like, what are those people called who like
park police?
Not park police, but the people who like clean the park.
Groundskeepers.
Yeah, like the groundskeeping cars will like go on here. So the road is like got some divots in it, and it had rained at some point. I think like the day before or something like that. Anyway, I kept thinking to myself, like, oh, how funny would it be if I like stepped in mud? Because I had been thinking about your goose story for some reason, because I was running around a bunch of animals and people, and I was like, oh, it would be really funny if I like ended up stepping into mud. But then I was like, oh, that would only be funny though, because to share on the pod, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not kidding you. It was like, I think it was my second to last interval. Like I was so close to being finished. I was like minute 38 of a 40-minute workout. And I got to this one part that I had strategically been running around very well. And it was like 8 different like potholes filled with mud and water. And I was coming at it the wrong way, and another person was coming the other way, and I was trying to change my song at the same time, so I wasn't really paying attention. And I was on like a 20-song streak where there was like no good songs, you know? And you're just like, oh my God.
Skip. I'm dying.
Yeah. And I, instead of going like through the middle of it where it was like more dry, I was like, oh, I'll just like do one foot on the grass and then like hop back on. And that part of the grass was just like fully mud, but it just looked like grass. So my like beautiful white Nike shoe is just like covered in mud. And I was like, this is what I get for speaking this into existence in my own head. Ugh, and then I had to come home. Yeah, I had to come home and brush it clean with a toothbrush in the shower and stuff. And it is, it's actually quite clean, but it was
good.
Yeah. Full of karma. I was really sad about it. Anyway, it's my long-winded story about how I should just keep my mouth shut always.
Don't make fun of me when a goose almost eats me alive.
Yeah.
So I do, gosh, that leads me into some sad things also, but
oh, great.
Well, one more happy note first before we get into the depressing. What was I trying to say? Depressing bits? Also on the metro, so I'm sitting right on my way home.
Okay.
They're running like limited schedule, right? So there's longer wait times.
I don't understand the limited schedule because it's just like the normal schedule now. Like, what do you mean limited? It's just like uses your new schedule.
It's been 2 years. Like, come on, get it together. So I decide to sit, right? I finally decide to sit. So I sit on this bench, and then of course this other guy comes and sits, but like he's smart. He sits very, very far. So him and I are both like opposite ends of this bench, like facing away from each other. And then this third guy comes in, plops himself in the middle, keeps trying to like offer us his newspaper, and we're both like, get the frick out of here. Like, no one wants your damn newspaper. You don't want to carry it. We don't want to carry it. Anyway.
Just throw it away.
But this guy walks by, right? And I'm like, he had the most beautiful purse I've ever seen.
Okay, not where I thought this was going.
Picture it. It's like small, compact, square, black leather. It's got a chain strap, but in the middle of it, it was very like Versace-esque. It was like this big gold Versace. It was like this big gold. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it looked like those relief sculptures. You know, like a relief sculpture? Like when you go to an art museum.
What's a relief sculpture?
So picture you have like this big block of stone, and it's still a square, and there's like they sculpt like figures and stuff into it, but it's still the larger. Yeah. It was like that, but it was like a woman's face or something like that, whatever. But it was very like, kind of like old style. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think so.
I should find a picture of something similar. I've never seen a purse like this before, but anyway.
Yeah, this is hard to imagine.
I was like, I'll find a picture. I was like watching him walk by, watching his purse, and I was like, I feel like I need to get up and say something to him, but that's too much. Like,
yeah, that's too much.
I loved it. But then, 10 minutes later, the train's arriving, so I get up to get on, and he comes up to me, and he's like, I love your bag. That's so beautiful. And I'm like,
wow. This is the same man with the purse, with the relief sculpture in it. And
I told him, I was like, I was staring at your purse when you were walking by earlier. I love it. And I was like,
did you ask where it was from?
Love. I didn't ask where it was from, but I should have. It looked like one of a kind almost. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, it looked like custom. I don't know.
So we're never going to know where this purse is from. Wow. And you had he literally talked to you and you could have asked him.
He came up to me. I know, I should have asked.
It's like it's very like, oh my God, I've loved your purse. I was looking at it the whole way. Where'd you get it from? Like, it's very, like, that's the next thing you say.
I know.
Wow.
Ugh, missed opportunities. But,
yeah. Well, that's two things spoken into existence. One good thing, one bad thing.
Yeah. So now that we've got the good news out of the way.
Oh, God.
Did you see that Omar is not returning to Elite?
I heard about it, but I actually just started watching it last night. And I'm only on the second episode, so I don't know how his story ends. So I don't know if this is like shocking or not. So I'm choosing to ignore the news because I don't want to spoil it for myself. But I did see that he was leaving, but I was like, shouldn't he be leaving anyway? Like, how many times can this kid fail? So, like I don't know how half the cast isn't leaving. Like,
yeah, I don't know. It was just so sad. I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss him.
I will say, watching this like second season, I don't know if you've seen any of it. Have you seen it?
I watched it all.
Okay. So like watching it, I was like, I miss the old people, but like I also kind of already forgot that like they were in this show. Mm-hmm. Like I was already very adapted.
So many of them have already left, and like they brought in new people that are just as insane and extra as they were. That like it's fine.
For sure.
But yeah, I was a little sad about that.
Well, actually, it's sad because I don't even see him anymore. Because I don't live in that area anymore. So
this is depressing. Okay, we're gonna take a break.
Depressing top half. Yeah, let's take a break.
Everyone cheer up. Everyone cheer up. We'll be back.
Hello. Edward here. Just wanted to say thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to both myself and Alyson. And it would mean even more if you sent us a message at 202-630-4509 or a message from pod@gmail.com. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and throw us a rate and review. 5 stars always feels good. And check us out on amfpod.com for all the little extra content that we have. Now, let's get back into it.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed the break. As per usual, we hope everyone is
cheered up a bit.
perked up and ready to go. Cheered up. I know we are. So we have a message from Val.
Yes, we have a message from Val. Her message is a little edited because it's more of just like a story flow situation, not typical what we're used to on the pod, but we're very happy with it regardless. So let's get into Val's message.
I don't even know what my messages were saying, but I think one was like, I feel like I have so many food experiences and or like travel experiences in general. One that you would probably fucking love, just like you in general. Like I said, I was 21. So, like I land in the beautiful land of Switzerland, the neutral country. Great, beautiful, love it. Sticking up their noses at me, wearing all the Gucci and Burberry. But so, we're there, we're hiking the Alps. It's beautiful. I'm just in my like Nikes, leggings, trying to look fit in. So we're like, let's go to the border of Switzerland and Italy. And that happens to be, we had to cross through like this gorgeous little town. Gondria, so pretty. You're walking like the mountainsides on the water, breathtaking. How do I belong here? I don't, but I'm going to do it anyway. I love it. I love my life. We stop at this little place for gelato. I'm like, I'm only going to get gelato because I should be saving money because I am in college and I don't have money. So I'm just going to get gelato, not anything like to suffice my body. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Drinking my water. I get all the way to Gondria, take my picture. I didn't think I was going to get through border control because, I forgot a few things. Make it through. The border just so happens to be in an underpass tunnel where, cars are ripping through. So now I'm, scaling the wall just to get to this line. And I decide, I need to sit in it and take a picture. So, cool, do all of it. Test fade again, walking back. It's great. It's beautiful. We're walking back. Yeah. All of a sudden, my body pulls. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? The mixture of flying all the way across country and then putting nothing but straight, beautiful dairy gelato into my body was like, girl, not today. Not with a long walk. I luckily don't have a situation occur, but I blow into the beautiful bathroom that is Switzerland. Imagine the people, imagine their gardening, and I want you to imagine what their bathrooms look like. It's cleaner and more beautiful than my bathroom. I walked into a fucking Ritz to rip it apart. It was honestly embarrassing, but not so embarrassing that I didn't do it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm here to stay. Made my way back to my room in the hostel, which was beautiful, by the way. I shouldn't even call it a hostel. I should call it a 5-star hotel. And laid in my bed, and I thought about what I did for a few hours while I maintained my belly bug. Then I woke up the next day, and I went to Germany. But it was honestly really good ice cream.
So many thoughts about this. First of all, thank you, Val.
There's a lot going on in there. Have you ever been to Switzerland?
I haven't been to Switzerland, and now I'm sitting here wondering what their bathrooms look like. Because
I don't remember what the bathrooms look like.
I need to know. There's this, is she Danish? Is she Dutch? Is she from the Netherlands? She's super famous on TikTok and YouTube. I think she might be Finnish, actually. Anyway, her name is Audi Katarina, and she has this super famous cleaning channel. She cleans people's houses for free, but severe hoarders, mental illness, hasn't cleaned in years.
I thought you meant her.
No. She'll go and clean these other people who are suffering from this. So you would go in and you couldn't even walk because their floors are just covered in trash. She'll go in and clean their homes for them. But their bathrooms, it's like a style. They all have this hose that's strapped to the wall, and everything in the bathroom is just waterproof, and there's a floor drain. So you can just spray that whole thing down. Just spray everything. Wow. Spray it all. Spray the walls, spray the floor. Yeah, and then you could... I love it. It's fascinating. So now
I don't think the bathrooms are like that in Switzerland, though.
No, they sound so elegant and luxe.
They do. I will say, when Val was talking about how she arrived, everyone was sort of she was trying to fit in, even though everyone was very rich and such. I was like, yeah, that's how I remember Switzerland, even though I was there for a very short time. It was just being I'm broke, and this country is so not broke.
Yeah, that's interesting. Huh. I'm sure I'd feel the same if I went there.
Yeah, you probably would. Although I was really young when I went. I would be interesting to go back now and see if I would feel the same way. But as someone who's not currently very affluent, is that right, money wise? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think I want to go right now.
Yeah.
I feel very poor. Yeah. That is quite the close. Well, not even a close call. That's quite the call.
It happened. The call happened.
Oh, it's just so sad because at least the gelato was good.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you have any rough food travel scenarios? Is that kind of what I'm trying to describe?
Yes. So I have nothing has ever resulted in me having severe stomach issues or destroying
we're very
a Brit's
delicately
bathroom.
talking about this.
Yes. Mine are just more so kind of like things were very shocking going in.
Oh.
So I had this internship in Canada when I was still in undergrad. And I interned for a senator. And so there were always like events and things going on. And one of the ladies in my office, she was like, oh, there's this like reception for the Monarchist League tonight. Do you want to come? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, babe.
Monarchist League. Why not? I mean, her and I were all like, oh, this is happening here. This is happening here. They always have really good foods at this one. They always have really good desserts after this meeting. So we were on it, right?
Yeah. As an intern, it's like, that's really all you're looking forward to.
That's all you're there for. So we go in, like, all these lovely people. I'm, like, introducing myself, meeting people. There's a beautiful cake. They were celebrating some anniversary. I don't remember which.
Okay.
But, had a really nice cake and everything, but you know, there are servers walking around with hors d'oeuvres. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I take one. Immediately no. I'm like, why is this in my hand and how can I get rid of it? It was, it must have been like smoked salmon. Basically it's raw salmon, which like, I don't do sushi.
Oh. This is like right up my alley.
It's on this toast square, and I think there was like a little caper on it. I'm sure.
Yeah, with a little dill, a little cream cheese.
Yeah.
Very
when I
common.
tell you, I'm like, I already knew. I was like, oh, I can't do this, but I can't. It was such a small room, and like, it would have made like people would have seen me if I just like threw it away or something. So I'm like, what
so you
do
force
I
yourself
do?
To eat it.
I'm like, I gotta force myself to eat this.
Love.
So I'm like,
such a tasty hors d'oeuvre for everybody else listening, but for you specifically
right.
terrible.
So I try to take a bite, and like, you know, I'm not able to bite through this raw salmon. And I'm like,
I would kill for this.
Feeling
right
it between my teeth, and I'm like,
Okay,
don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up. And like, finally I get the bite, but then it's in my mouth, and I'm like, I can't even chew this. Like, I'm gonna barf. I just like swallowed the bite hole that was in my mouth. And
this is reminding me of something.
I couldn't do
You
it.
look like you're gonna cry.
It was so bad. And like, literally, because
Did you eat
of
it?
that,
You did eat it though.
I don't think I ate the whole thing. I think I somehow managed to subtly like fold the rest of it into my napkin or something. But I will literally never forget that. And because of that, anything that has anything to do with like raw salmon or smoked salmon or anything, no, I will never touch it.
Wow.
It was traumatizing.
Yeah, the look on your face while retelling that was like the definition of PTSD.
It was 12 years ago, and I still remember it vividly.
Jesus. Almost a full teen
Yep.
of years ago.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll give you an option. Do you want to hear spicy noodle, white peaches alone, or fruit salad story?
Fruit salad. We both did the spicy noodle challenge, and I think we talked about that before.
We must have, yes. That poor restroom at that school. That poor teacher's bathroom. Woo! I'm just so glad it wasn't on the public bus that I took. But anyway.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, truly horrific. Wait, fruit salad is what you said? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess just tell the fruit salad story. I just have to preface the white peach thing as I am allergic to peaches. I'm sure we've talked about that on here. I don't know if we have. I am allergic to peaches and fruits like it. I guess like stone fruits.
Stone fruits, yeah.
It's sad. But anyway, I find this out and I basically stay away from it. But I do maybe the one thing you probably shouldn't do and travel to Italy every summer where the fruit of the summer is peaches, if not like lemons. And I'm staying with this host family and what is happening exactly? I'm trying to remember a little bit. One of the kids is making, what do we call it? Fruit cocktail. Macedonia? Is that, what do we, is
Fruit
that a word in
cocktail?
English?
Like all the different fruits mixed together?
Yeah. Like
Yeah, you would
essentially.
either... if I bought it from a store, if I bought like the old school like can from a store, it'd be called fruit cocktail. But if you made it at home, I would just call it fruit salad.
Oh, okay. It's not called Macedonia or anything like that?
No. Macedonia?
Okay. Okay. I'm being
Is that a
influenced by...
Pittsburgh thing?
No. I think I'm just being influenced by like Latin languages. Because it's called like Macedonia or whatever in Italian and like Macedonia in Spanish. So this kid's making it and he's putting like banana and like all this stuff in it, like strawberries, yada yada. And his parents had said like, just be careful, like you need to make Edward's separately because you're putting peaches in it and his can't have. So he cuts mine separately, does mine by himself, and then he makes everybody else's. And when he sees like it all in the bowls, he notices that like mine's like kind of doesn't have as much in it. And I'm like just laying on the couch reading like a Italian children's book, like truly not doing anything. Like don't know how I have this job. And I kind of hear him say that and I'm like just like kind of looking over at him and I notice he's like, I'm gonna put more in yours. And I was like, okay. And he just like cuts the fruit on the same thing after he cut everything else. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, uh-oh. And I like, for some reason, just didn't say anything because I was just like, it was one of those like, I'm not trying to be an inconvenience, but also like now I'm deeply worried about if my throat's going to close up and like then I have to go to an Italian hospital, like what's going to happen to me?
Yeah.
And I'm just sort of staring at it and just like, okay, all right, well, I know this. And so we have dinner or whatever. It was like some special event, like not event, but like something special was happening, which is why he was making this fruit salad to begin with. And we do the thing and it comes to dessert and I'm like, oh my God. And I just suck it up and I eat it. But like halfway through, I definitely noticed that my throat like isn't loving it, but it's so little, like the juice from the peach is like so minimal that it's just sort of like agitating. And it's definitely like getting a little hard to swallow. But like I'm okay. And I finished the fruit salad. I'm like, just even thinking about it right now is like making it hard to swallow. And my throat definitely feels like it's a little bit closed, but not a lot. And I just sort of am like, okay. And I think like after dinner, I go downstairs and like where I was staying and took like 2 allergy pills or something for like seasonal allergies
or something.
Yeah, I took like 2 antihistamines or something like that, and I was like fine the next day. But after that, I was like, I will never let a child cut my fruit ever again.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't that so funny though? The things we do when we don't want to put other people out.
Oh my God! It literally like plagues me in Europe. As like an immigrant / expat / like foreigner abroad, like. It plagues me every day because I'm just trying not to be an inconvenience to other people.
Me, every time I go to France and I'm with people that I know and I'm like, they're cooking me this meal. I can't say that I would never eat this at home.
Yeah. I just got a haircut and like I'm very happy with my haircut, but like literally every single haircut I've received for the past like 8 years or 7 years I've lived here, it's just been me being like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah. Like, see, very much, it'll grow back, but like...
The haircut is the one thing that I won't, like, compromise on. Like,
well, it's because your hair's so long.
I tell people, I'm like, no, that's not what I want to, like, can you do a little more or do something here? Like, they probably hate me because I'm always, like, conservative at the beginning, and then after that, I'm like... No,
it's better that way. That way. No, I truly am just like, my hair is short. It'll grow back very fast. Like, it's fine. I'll just look like shit for like 2 weeks and it'll just like grow out. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
That or like when I'm at the supermarket or like markets and stuff and people are just like, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? And I'm just like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll take it. Sure. I don't really want this, but like, sure. Yeah. Especially at the butcher because I don't know the vocab. And so I just end up getting like cuts of chicken that I don't necessarily want. I just wanted a chicken breast, and I get like
niche vocab that you would never just learn on your own, like in a natural way.
Yeah, or like being at the doctor.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I'm like, I guess it doesn't hurt that much. I guess this is fine. Anyway.
I have one last really quick food story. So, I mentioned to you this earlier in the week that it was like French week or something at Lidl. So, I was really interested mostly in like their mixed spice grinders. I love an herb and a spice. But
Okay.
so I go there yesterday, right? And like I've picked up a few things, but there was something I didn't see in the advertisements. And I was like, it made me have this flashback. Do you remember, you never drank it because you don't drink coffee, but do you remember when Bobby would make Cafe Bonbon? And it was like basically
it's disgusting.
hot version of Vietnamese coffee.
It's like a thing though.
With like the sweetened condensed milk.
Yeah.
And then you put the
same
coffee
thing
in.
Here.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it was so fun. I always called it diaper cream because in France, the weirdest thing, they would sell the sweetened condensed milk in a squeezy tube.
Lots of things are sold here
like
in squeezy tubes.
a giant squeezy tube of
like
sweetened condensed milk.
Yeah.
Like ointment. Exactly.
Like,
it was
yeah.
ointment, which is that was weird to me. But anyway.
Now that you're saying this, I guess that is weird.
It's weird. Especially because, like, here, sweetened condensed milk comes in a can and only in a can.
True. Carnation or whatever it's called.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I'm at Lidl yesterday, right? And I'm, like, in the aisle, the French Week aisle. And what do I see? This little squeezy tube of
that looks like lotion.
fig mustard dip. And I'm like, I gotta buy it.
Wait, but
So
is that metallic or is that plastic?
It's plastic.
Oh, that looks like lotion. So it's different than the little metallic ointment cream thing.
Well, actually, I think it might be a metallic inside. Like the outside is plastic, but I think the way that it's like kind of holding its shape when I squeeze it,
Oh.
I think it might be like
This is
metallic
very
inside.
show and tell.
It does, yeah, but it does look like lotion or an ointment. And like, look, that is the freaking ointment
Ew.
top, like protective lid.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I have no idea what this is going to be like or what I'm going to use it on, but
Your
I
ass. You're
cannot.
going to put it on your ass.
Mustard?
I don't know.
Do you want me to die?
I don't think rubbing mustard on your ass is necessarily going to kill you. I don't think it's going to be great.
Cry.
No, but it probably doesn't feel like anything.
Mustard?
I'm not saying
European mustard.
Yeah, but if you just like
burns.
rubbed it on your skin, I don't think it would hurt.
It wouldn't hurt, but it might be kind of burny.
I don't think so. I don't think it would do anything.
Well, I'm not going to rub it on my skin. I'm going to squeeze it on some food. I don't know what food yet, but...
Yeah, I don't know what you put that on. A cracker?
I don't know either, but I was like, I have to buy it and see.
A little cracker with a little smoked salmon.
A little cracker with no salmon.
With
Can
a
we
small
talk about-
peach.
Who says salmon? Like, every time I hear
don't know.
someone say salmon, I'm like, stop being obtuse. Like, just
Obtuse.
quit. It's not, you don't pronounce the L. Come on.
All right. Well, on that note, I am so glad neither of us have died from our food experiences and that Val didn't either. We do want to say thank you to Val for sending in her message. She will receive a postcard as per usual. And if you want to send us in a message to hear us talk about God knows what, do so at 202-630-4509 if you live in the United States, or a message from pod@gmail.com if you live outside of the United States or hate the sound of your own voice. And check us out on amfpod.com. Alyson has some mystery posts for this week, I believe. And on Instagram and Twitter as well. You can find all that stuff on amfpod.com. And be a doll and rate us 5 stars and write a little review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Thank you.
We will talk to you next
week.
week. Do you want to sing us out this time again?
No, never again will I sing on this podcast. And I'm pretty sure no one else wants me to sing either.
Bingo. Bye-bye.
Bye.